When security guards tried to remove an elderly woman in old clothes, begging for money with a cardboard sign in front of Buckingham Palace, no one could have guessed who she really was. But when that woman began to speak, everyone froze. On a cold November morning in London, an unusual preparation was taking place in one of the private rooms of Kensington Palace. Kate Middleton looked at herself in the mirror, while her makeup artist Sarah held materials that were far from royal standards. "Are you sure, Your Majesty?" asked Sarah, holding the dirty clothes in her hands. "This could be very dangerous." There was a determined light in Kate's eyes. The reports she had received in recent months had deeply affected her. The number of homeless people in England had reached record levels, and society's attitude toward people living on the streets was becoming increasingly harsh. But what really hurt her was the attitude that even the security guards around the palace showed toward these people. "Sarah, sometimes to learn the truth, we need to put on a mask instead of taking one off," said Kate, with deep determination in her voice. After hours of preparation, the person she saw in the mirror was no longer Kate Middleton. Special makeup on her face had created aging marks. Her hair was deliberately messy and dirty-looking. The clothes she wore were real homeless garments collected from charities: a torn coat, holey socks, worn-out shoes. "If this goes as planned, this won't just be a social experiment, Ansha," said Kate, as she adjusted the cardboard sign in her hand. "This will be a real lesson in humanity." Early the next morning, 100 meters from the main gate of Buckingham Palace, a woman sitting at the base of a small wall drew no attention. Kate waited for hours with her cardboard sign reading, "Please help, hungry and homeless." The first passerby was a businessman. When Kate reached toward him saying, "Sir, just a little," he passed by quickly without stopping, as if Kate wasn't there at all. The next person was a young woman. Kate tried again. "Madam, just for a piece of food." The woman pretended to talk on her cell phone and ignored Kate. As the hours passed, a strange pain grew in Kate's heart. She realized that before experiencing this, she had never truly understood what homelessness meant. That look in people's eyes. You were like a ghost, as if you didn't exist. At noon, tourists began coming to photograph the palace. Dozens of people passing right by Kate didn't notice her at all. A tourist woman posed right in front of Kate, treating Kate as if she were part of the furniture. "What kind of feeling is this?" thought Kate. "What is it like to be invisible?" On the second day afternoon, Kate's presence was finally noticed, but this wasn't the kind of attention she had hoped for. "Hey, you! Yes, you! Woman over there!" shouted Chief Security Guard Marcus Thompson. When Kate looked up, she saw 3 uniformed security guards walking toward her with firm steps. "Get out of here! This place isn't for begging," said Marcus, with no compassion in his voice. "How many times do I have to tell people like you?" Kate spoke in a low voice. "Sir, I just need a little help. I'm hungry and—" "Hungry?" laughed young security guard Jake. "Then go work, instead of trying to live off our tax money." The third guard, Sarah Williams, spoke even harsher. "Look, woman, as long as you stay here, tourists are bothered. The royal family lives here. Dirty, unkempt people like you ruin the image of this prestigious place." Kate's heart ached. These words were coming from her own security guards in front of her own home. But the worst was yet to come. Marcus bent down and grabbed Kate's cardboard sign and tore it. "Take this sign and go! If I see you here again, I'll call the police." "But sir," said Kate, making her voice sound old and shaky. "I just what?" shouted Jake. "You're going to sit here like a parasite? We'll lose tourists because of you." On the third day, things got even worse. When Kate sat in the same place, the guards from the previous day noticed her again. "Ah, you're back again?" complained Sarah Williams. "Didn't we tell you yesterday to get out of here?" This time Marcus was more aggressive. "Look, old woman, you really don't understand, do you? This isn't your street. But the truly shocking incident happened at noon. When a group of tourists passed by Kate, security guard Jake said loudly to them, "Sorry about this thing. This woman hangs around here. There's nothing we can do about it. Unfortunately, these types of people are everywhere." A tourist asked, "Why don't you call the police?" Jake laughed. "What would we tell the police? There's a homeless person? They'd just say, 'Kick them out.' These people have no value to society anyway." Hearing these words, Kate's eyes filled with tears, but she controlled herself. According to the plan, she needed to wait longer. Marcus then turned to the other guards. "If this woman comes again tomorrow, I'll spray her with the hose. Let's see how she runs then." Sarah Williams added, "I think they should take these types of people out of the city. They ruin London's image." But the security guards weren't alone. Over the passing days, Kate observed ordinary people's attitudes toward the homeless as well. In the morning hours, a mother was taking her little daughter to school when they passed by Kate. When the child looked at Kate with innocent eyes and asked, "Mom, why is this lady sitting here?" the mother quickly pulled her child away. "Come on, get away from there. Those types of people can be dangerous. Don't even look at them." The little girl turned back to look at Kate, but her mother dragged her away. Kate's heart ached. Children were naturally compassionate, but adults taught them prejudice. At noon, two well-dressed young men passed by Kate, and one said to the other, "Couldn't she find even a toilet-sized place to sleep? Disgraceful! London is now full of such people." His friend added, "Always the same story. Alcohol, drugs, then street life. Their own choices." "Right," said the first young man. "I work, I pay taxes. Should they live off my money too?" As Kate watched them, she realized that none of these young people knew the real causes of homelessness. Nobody talked about unemployment, illness, family tragedies. Toward evening, a middle-aged couple stood near Kate. The woman was whispering to her husband, but Kate could hear, "This woman has been sitting here for days. Should we call the police?" Her husband replied, "Never mind. Let her leave on her own. But it's really disturbing. Children see these things." Then the elderly man raised his voice. "In our time, there were no such people. Everyone worked. Nobody slept on the streets. These people are just being lazy." The woman also agreed. "Absolutely. Anyone who wants can find work. These people are just choosing the easy way." The most painful moment happened in the evening hours. A young couple, walking arm in arm, saw Kate. The girl said to her boyfriend, "You, look at that woman. How dirty and unkempt she is. I wish they weren't here." Her boyfriend replied, "Really disgusting. They should gather these people somewhere and take them out of the city." As Kate listened to all these conversations in silence, she truly understood how prejudiced and merciless society was toward the homeless. People were judging without learning their stories, without understanding the reasons, and worst of all, they were teaching these judgments to their children. On the fourth day afternoon, Kate's patience had run out. When Marcus Thompson came again to yell at her, Kate slowly stood up. "Sir," said Kate, but this time her voice was different. "There's something I need to discuss with you." "What discussion?" laughed Marcus. "Are you still standing here? How many times have I told you?" Kate brought her hand to her face and began wiping away part of the special makeup. Slowly, her real facial features were emerging. "I am," said Kate, her voice now beginning to sound familiar. "I am Catherine, Princess of Wales." Marcus's face turned white as snow. Jake's mouth hung open. Sarah Williams rubbed her eyes and looked again. This isn't possible," stammered Marcus. Kate finished wiping off her makeup. The person standing before them was undoubtedly Kate Middleton. "Yes, I am Kate Middleton, and for the past 4 days I have been observing how you treat the homeless." The security guard's shock was obvious. Marcus's hand was trembling. Jake was trying to swallow. Sarah Williams's eyes had welled up. "Your Majesty," began Marcus, we didn't know. Kate raised her hand. Stop, Marcus. This is exactly why I needed such an experience. Because you didn't know who I was, and you showed your true character. Kate slowly turned to the small crowd around her. Meanwhile, tourists and pedestrians who saw what was happening had also gathered. For the past 4 days, said Kate, her voice filling the entire square, I lived like a homeless person, and I want to share what I learned with you. The first thing I learned was this. Being homeless isn't just being without a roof. It's being invisible. It's people not noticing you. It's them acting as if you don't exist. The crowd continued to grow. Phones came out. Everyone was recording. The second thing I learned, laziness isn't the only cause of homelessness. What I saw here showed me how prejudiced we are against these people. Kate turned to Marcus. You, Marcus, called me a parasite. You said these people have no value to society. But homeless people are also human beings. They also have stories, pain, hopes. Marcus bowed his head. Your Majesty, I'm so sorry. You don't need to apologize, Marcus, said Kate in a gentle voice. But you need to change. All of you need to change. Kate's voice began to tremble. During these 4 days, I was hungry, really hungry. I shivered from the cold. I experienced people treating me like an invisible being. But what hurt the most was the look of hatred in people's eyes, as if being homeless was a crime. Someone in the crowd began to cry. Kate's words were deeply affecting everyone. Let me tell you something, said Kate, raising her voice. Homelessness can happen to anyone. Unemployment, illness, family tragedy, and then you too could be people looked at with the same eyes. Sarah Williams came forward crying, Your Majesty, I'm so ashamed. Not because of you, but because of my own behavior. What have we done? Kate approached her and took her hand. Sarah, you can change. All of you can change, because now you see the truth. Kate turned to the crowd. From today on, there will be a change here. These security guards will treat the homeless with respect, but not just them. I'm asking something of you. The next time you encounter a homeless person on the street, treat them humanely. Don't ignore them. Maybe you can't help, but at least don't lose your humanity. Marcus stepped forward. Your Majesty, we will change. I promise you, from now on, we will see every homeless person as our own brother. Kate smiled. This isn't just a promise, Marcus. This must be a lifestyle change. Jake also added, Your Majesty, we are actually good people. We just didn't understand. Now we understand. This experience showed me, said Kate, that the real royal crown lies in how you treat people. True nobility isn't given by money or position. It's given by compassion and understanding. From that day on, nothing around Buckingham Palace was the same as before. Marcus Thompson and his team began to show a completely different approach toward the homeless. A week later, when a real homeless man came to the front of the palace, Marcus approached him. Hello, sir. How can I help you? The man was surprised. I just wanted some money. Marcus, I can't give money, but I can take you to the nearby aid center. There's food and temporary shelter available there. Kate was watching this change. She was secretly looking from the palace, and what she saw made her happy. Sarah Williams now treated homeless people kindly when she encountered them, sometimes even sharing her own lunch. Jake constantly told his friends about Kate's experience, encouraging everyone to be more compassionate. When Kate's brave action was reflected in the media, all of England was talking about this event. The hashtag #KateTheHomeless became trending on social media. People began sharing their own experiences. They questioned their behavior toward the homeless. A Twitter user wrote, What Kate Middleton did reminded me of my humanity. Yesterday I talked to a homeless man on the street for the first time. He had a story too. Another added, How big this princess's heart is. She left her own comfort and took such a risk to learn the truth. Donations to charities increased. The number of volunteers multiplied. Kate's one-day experience changed thousands of people's lives. A month later, Kate was sitting in the same place, but this time with her real identity. William was beside her. "How did this experience change you?" asked William. Kate answered thoughtfully, "William, I always tried to help the homeless, but I never understood what they really experienced. Being invisible, being seen as worthless by people, this is something no human being should have to experience. And most importantly," she added, "this experience showed me that real change is only possible by living the truth." Marcus came to them at that moment. "Your Majesty, this month we were able to help 15 homeless people. We directed them to shelters, supported them in the job search process." Kate smiled. "This is it, Marcus. This is real change." That day, Kate Middleton proved that she was not just a princess, but a real leader, because real leadership meant understanding people and changing for them. And every homeless person passing by Buckingham Palace now knew that there were people there who understood and cared about them. This story showed the power of Kate Middleton's courage and compassion. Sometimes, to learn the truth, we need to step out of our comfort zone. And sometimes the greatest lessons come from the most unexpected places. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button so you don't miss inspiring stories like this.